Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit with another episode of What Are We Eating? Actually, today's video isn't about what are we eating, it's about what are our kids eating. That's right, today we're going to see if parents actually know what their kids are eating. I gotta be honest, when my kids were young, I didn't really read the ingredient list or nutrition facts of food that they ate. But then again, they mostly ate real food that we cooked. But I'm certainly guilty from time to time feeding my kids kids' cuisine. And that's what we're going to be doing today, is going over the kids' cuisines, all-star nuggets, popcorn chicken, and mini corn dog meals. So let's start off by going over the 8.8 ounce kids' cuisine all-star nuggets that cost $2.48, which consist of white meat chicken patties, macaroni and cheese, corn, and a fudge brownie with celebration sprinkles. White meat chicken patties are also known as foreign meat slurry concoctions, which are basically chicken McNuggets. But I think chicken McNuggets are a little bit higher quality foreign meat slurry concoctions. The All-Star Nugget Meal is loved by kids, with white meat chicken patties, yummy corn, macaroni and cheese, and a delicious fudge brownie. Out of 54 reviews, the All-Star Nugget Meal got a 3 out of 5. And it's really funny reading through the reviews, because some of them are parents or grandparents commenting on how convenient they are to feed their kids, and then other adults are commenting how good these are and that they've been eating them since they were a kid. Here's the very lengthy list of ingredients. The serving size is the whole meal, which has 450 calories, 18 grams of total fat, 4.5 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 20 milligrams of cholesterol, 1,180 milligrams of sodium, 56 grams of carbohydrates, 4 grams of fiber, 16 grams of sugar, and 14 grams of protein. Here's our all-star chicken nugget meal right out of the freezer and right out of the box. We're going to cook one meal in the oven and one in the microwave. We're supposed to remove the film and then put it into a preheated 350 degree oven for 28 to 30 minutes. And now for the microwave version. We're supposed to remove the film over the entire meal and then remove the nuggets and then microwave for 1 minute. As you can see, I made a mistake and didn't remove the film over the whole meal. I guess I misread the directions. And then replace the nuggets and microwave for another 2.5 to 3 minutes. After microwaving for a total of 4 minutes, our all-star nugget meal is ready. But before we dig in, we gotta add our celebration sprinkles to our brownie. And then we went in and got a scoop of the macaroni and cheese. Now you, the people, know what's next. Into the old pie hole and down the gullet it went. And it was surprisingly good. Creamy and cheesy. It tasted just like Stouffer's. Next was the corn. Corn in frozen dinners is typically good. However, this corn was exceptionally fresh tasting and delicious. Add some butter and salt and pepper and it would be fantastic. Next, we forked an all-star nugget. And it not only looked pretty good, but it tasted pretty good. Perfectly seasoned, and the crust was nicely set and it wasn't mushy or soggy like you would expect it to be cooked in the microwave. Much better than I anticipated, especially with it being a foreign meat slurry concoction. And finally, we scooped up a bite of the fudge brownie with celebration sprinkles. The brownie itself was good. I could do without the celebration sprinkles. But with this being aimed towards kids, I can see how they would love them. After cooking for 30 minutes in the oven, our all-star nugget meal is ready. I went in to try the corn first. So into the old pie hole and down the gullet it went. And this was very interesting. The corn wasn't nearly as good as the corn that was cooked in the microwave. It kind of tasted like plastic, and I didn't really like it. Next we tried the delicious mac and cheese. And the mac and cheese was still nice and creamy, but it still had a weird taste to it like the corn. Next we shanked an all-star nugget. And the oven definitely did them a flavor as far as being crispy, as they were very crispy. But they also had a weird plasticky flavor to them. The camera lady wanted to try an all-star nugget. And she thought the same thing I did, a little plasticky flavor. And finally, we get a bite of the fudge brownie with celebration sprinkles. And besides the plasticky flavor, the oven dried out the brownie, and it just wasn't very good. So here's my review of the Kids Cuisine All-Star Nuggets. I think it's a pretty good value at $2.48 for a quick weeknight meal to feed your kids. I wish it had less than 1,180 milligrams of sodium. But to be fair to Kids Cuisine, it's really no different than other foods that kids eat. For instance, one slice of cheese pizza from Domino's has about 607 milligrams of sodium. Most kids eat more than one piece of pizza, so right there, you're over 1,200 milligrams of sodium. But as with any food, it's all about the moderation. Quality-wise, I think the meal was extremely good, as was the flavor in the microwave version. So for the oven version, I think the product was fine. Just the cooking method changed the flavor of everything. And I'm going to give the oven version a 2 out of 5. And the microwave version was good all the way around except the celebration sprinkles. I wasn't a fan of those. And I'm going to give the microwave version of Kids Cuisine All-Star Nuggets a 3.5 out of 5. Now let's go over the 8.8 ounce Kid Cuisine's mini corn dogs, which consist of mini turkey corn dogs, french fries, corn, and a fudge brownie with celebration sprinkles. This meal also cost $2.48. The Kid Cuisine mini corn dog meal is loved by kids, which has yummy corn, mini corn dogs, golden french fries, and a delicious fudge brownie. Out of 32 reviews, the Kid Cuisine mini corn dog meal got 3.5 stars out of 5. Here's another long list of ingredients. The serving size is the whole meal, which has 480 calories, 18 grams of total fat, 4.5 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 30 milligrams of cholesterol, 1,270 milligrams of sodium, 68 grams of carbohydrates, 3 grams of fiber, 21 grams of sugars, and 12 grams of protein. The meal that's being cooked in the oven, we're supposed to remove the film from the corn dogs, the french fries, and the brownie. And then the meal goes into a preheated 350 degree oven for 30 to 32 minutes. For the meal being cooked in the microwave, we're supposed to remove the film from the corn dog and the french fries, and then remove the corn dogs. And then microwave on a high for 1 minute. And then add the corn dogs back in and cook for another 3 minutes. After microwaving for a total of 4 minutes, our corn dog meal is ready. Just gotta add the sprinkles. And we went in for a spoonful of corn to try first. And I had my fingers crossed that the corn was going to be as good in this meal as it was the first meal. So into the old pie hole and down the gullet it went. And man, I gotta say, Kids Cuisine has some really good corn. It just tastes so fresh and sweet. It was good enough, we needed one more bite. Next we tried a couple french fries. I wasn't really expecting much of these french fries since they cooked in the microwave, but they were surprisingly good. Obviously they were not crispy, but still pretty good for being cooked in the microwave. And now for the star of the meal, the mini corn dog. And that looks good enough to eat. Into the old pie hole and down the gullet it went. The batter was actually cooked pretty well in the microwave and had a good flavor to it. But the hot dog was really, really good. And I can't believe I'm saying that about a turkey hot dog. I mean, like, really good. And finally, a bite of the fudge brownie. And once again, the brownie pulled through nice and moist with good flavor, except those daggone celebration sprinkles. I didn't like them, they were a little bit chalky to me. And here's our mini corn dog meal after cooking in a 350 degree oven for 32 minutes. So we went in to try the corn first. And just like all the previous corn, this corn was delicious. Next, we tried the french fries. And what a disappointment they were. You would think, since they were cooked in the oven, that they would be somewhat crispy. But quite the contrary, they were dry and not crispy at all. Next was the mini corn dog. And it wasn't bad, but it was pretty much just like the one in the microwave. Again, you would think with it being cooked in the oven, it would be better, but it wasn't. And I was referring to the batter because the hot dog again was delicious. And finally for the fudge brownie with celebration sprinkles. And it was pretty good, just it wasn't as moist as the ones cooked in the microwave. So here's my review of Kids Cuisine Mini Corn Dogs meal cooked in the microwave. Anything breaded or battered or something you want crispy, that's typically not going to happen in the microwave. And the batter on the corn dogs and the french fries was no exception. But it didn't really matter because they were both still pretty good. The corn was exceptional. The brownie was good, except those daggone sprinkles. So I'm going to give the Kids Cuisine Mini Corn Dogs meal that was cooked in the microwave a 3.7. And there was really nothing beneficial about cooking the mini corn dog meal in the oven. There was no difference in the breading on the corn dog, and there was no crispiness to the french fries. But the corn was still exceptional, but the brownie was a little dry. But overall, it was still a pretty tasty meal, and those daggone turkey hot dogs are fantastic. So I'm going to give the oven version a 3 out of 5. Last but not least, let's try the 8.65 ounce Kid Cuisine popcorn chicken, which consists of white meat chicken patties, corn, french fries, and a chocolate cake with victory sprinkles, which also cost $2.48. The Kid Cuisine popcorn chicken meal is also loved by kids, with yummy corn, white meat chicken patties, golden french fries, and a delicious chocolate cake. Out of 16 reviews, the Kid Cuisine popcorn chicken got a 3.2 out of 5. And here's the list of ingredients, and out of all three, this one contains the fewest ingredients. The serving size is the whole meal, which has 470 calories, 19 grams of total fat, 3.5 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 25 milligrams of cholesterol, 630 milligrams of sodium, 62 grams of carbohydrates, 5 grams of fiber, 12 grams of sugars, and 12 grams of protein. It also has about half the sodium of the previous two meals. So here's our popcorn chicken meal that microwaved for 4 minutes. Once again, the corn was exceptional. The french fries, again, were surprisingly good for being cooked in the microwave. The popcorn chicken was really good, almost crunchy on the outside, and moist and tender in the middle. And just like the nuggets, they were very well seasoned. And as you can see, we had a couple more pieces of popcorn chicken. They were very good. But I wasn't a fan of the chocolate cake and the victory sprinkles. The cake was dry. Now here's our second popcorn chicken meal that was cooked in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Once again, the corn was fantastic. And I just didn't understand the french fries in these meals. You would think that they would benefit from being cooked in the oven, but the microwave french fries were actually much better. The oven seemed to dry these out and didn't make them crispy at all. And unfortunately, that was the same case with the popcorn nuggets. Cooked in the oven, they were pretty dry and weren't crispy at all. And the same thing with the chocolate cake and the victory sprinkles. Just dried out and I didn't like it. So I'm going to give the Kids Cuisine popcorn chicken meal a 3 out of 5. The chocolate cake and the french fries just couldn't compare to the fudge brownie and the macaroni and cheese that was in the all-star nugget meal. And then I'm going to give the oven version of the popcorn chicken a 1.5 out of 5. The oven on this one seemed to dry everything out. Except that corn. The corn on all 6 of these meals was delicious. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.